lots of facts, including fines. Like,
Emily really wanted to do
Yeah,
that.
she,
Yes, Emily likes
so
cats.
I'm trying to incorporate what she likes.
Well, I'm betting that that was in the closet, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I know people like that. Okay, was the cape in your closet?
No,
That wasn't mine.
Oh,
Alright, so
yeah.
can we show you up close our
Yes, I'd like to see
Alright.
that up close.
Oh, okay.
Here, they will show you.
Yes, so Sabrina and I worked with the user interface designer to create this demo to show you.
Yep, her
And
name is
the-
Megan Lee.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's from Magenic too, so.
Okay, can you tip a little bit, because I don't want to touch it,
Yeah.
because I've got a cold.
Okay, so, like Megan said, you get the information given to you by your boss, and then you log in, right? And
Yeah.
then you come up to a page where you have your highlighted route specifically to you, and, all the houses are color coded by the amounts of damage with a key.
By the key. And it also tracks your GPS location, so it shows where you are in relation to the houses, so you don't get lost and all that. And this is information about the disaster, which will usually be pre-entered in depending on where you log in.
So these gray ones are those houses that have not yet been assessed?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, and then it goes through after the fact?
But this gray one is inaccessible,
Yeah.
Okay.
one with the exclamation mark on it.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
so if you wanted to create a assessment, so they mark the house that you're on right now. If it's inaccessible, that's, it changes. And the criteria changes also, so,
because the Red Cross has certain standards for, if it's major, that means these things happen to it. If it's minor, that means these things happen to it. So we conveniently placed that checklist underneath here so you can make sure you're classifying it.
and
because Karen Rowe, she said
Kelly Rowe.
that that in the car they always had debates about what the the assessment was and like how the classification would go. So that helped a lot.
And,
Yeah.
and again, what you're looking at here is for the Red Cross, so it's basically to assess food and shelter, not insurance.
yeah.
It's really just looking at how livable is their house
Yes.
and how much can they get back
Pretty
in.
much.
So in the example where you talked about machinery and cows and stuff floating away, the bottom line is you don't care in the
Yeah.
account.
Yeah.
That would be more of an insurance thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, is there any work that the Red Cross does with tying and cross-tying the insurance in?
Yes.
They do
numbers is sometimes used to send to FEMA.
Yes, so they send all their information to FEMA, because FEMA, they use that information too, but the Red
As well
Cross
as more.
Yeah, as
And
well
then-
as more, they just.
They also kind of give a copy to insurances to let them know what their assessment was of how the house
Okay.
was damaged.
Yep, so they have 3 binders full of all of the houses that were affected in order.
Yeah.
Now, you said it's interesting that they can't take pictures because of privacy issues.
Yes.
Whereas I'm assuming when you're doing insurance, I paid my insurance company for them to come in so they can take pictures. But
Yeah.
since this is the
Yes.
government going through, they
Mhm.
can't do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
That's
it's
okay.
like very.
Unless you put it on a Google car or something and drove it down the street, then you can. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, no commentary from the judge. I mean, is that something that, she said, that they couldn't do that. Is that something that, would it make sense to have, law change around that when it is a disaster, when they're doing that kind of assessment?
Well,
Because I would think taking pictures of things would actually, you'd have very objective evidence, not someone's subjective evaluation.
well, they want to get done as fast as possible, so they didn't really want that, 'cause it's a long day.
They're only allowed to spend, well, they're trying to get only like 5 minutes per each house, because they're just driving down the street and looking as they're doing it.
And they have hundreds of houses they have to go through, so in a day, so.
And it's,
Yeah.
and also,
So, and they're getting this information back, and then the teams come through to provide support and aid.
Yes.
Okay. So this is a go back and download, or is this Wi-Fi connectivity, so the information's available real time?
Yeah, it connects, once
Not
you're,
Wi-Fi, but.
once you're
some.
done with assessing all the houses, it will, once you reach an area with Wi-Fi, because flood areas don't usually have Wi-Fi, it'll submit.
And it saves automatically, so
Yep.
you won't lose your progress.
That way you can just submit them all at once and they all go to your computer.
Okay.
So, as you saw, the criteria changes, and then you have to enter
Yeah.
this stuff.
And then you can, like say if it's a single family or a mobile home or apartment, so the image changes so you can keep track of all that. So then you enter the information such as water level in the basement, and then roof floors, and the water level in the living area. And then you can check off these on the checklist because usually they have to handwrite out what parts of the criteria affect it. But with these, they can just check it off and then add additional notes if they want to provide description.
And do we have to worry, one of the things I think about is electronic equipment and water.
Yeah.
Do we have,
They're inside their car at all times, so they don't even touch water at all, so.
Yeah.
So
And
they're
it's
just
also
going
like-
to accessible areas.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and then you just click save, and then as you can see, now it's yellow, and you can go back and review it if you need to like change something.
Okay,
And this is what they currently use, and this is when it's typed up, but it's not usually like that. They handwrite the information, so we changed it into that.
So we just took the information from the form and made it electronic.
And our app we want to try is make very easy to use, and we even interviewed Rose's grandparents,
Yes.
right over there, and so they tried it out, and they're not even assessors for the Red Cross, and they tried it, and after like a run-through, they were able to get it just like that. And so since some of the Red Cross people are retirees, we try to make it easy for them to use.
great.
Intuitive.
Okay, I need to wrap up so I can keep the day on schedule. One thing I wanted to mention is there is the first Global Innovation Award. Have you guys looked at that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, when's the deadline?
Um,
Oh, you haven't looked very close.
February. We did it
February
last year.
18th.
Yes, we did it last year.
Okay,
Yes.
and you're going to do it again this year?
Yes.
Okay, so, you know, one of the things is, you know, you guys have to remember that as part of First Lego League, you have a big voice in the community. You know, you guys are becoming the experts in these areas, you clearly have worked with experts, you've tailored an approach that really, you know, ties into what they're doing. You know, when I ask you the questions about not what do you wanna do next, but what are you doing next, you know, I really challenge you. This is something that you could actually make a big difference on on a big stage, giving them a tool that they can use that's gonna improve their process. You know, now, I'm assuming Red Cross, just like most organizations, is full of bureaucracy, et cetera. Don't give up, you guys can make a difference. In fact, I believe, you know, teams like you are the places where real differences in this world are really gonna be made. So, you know, you've gotten great step, great progress, you're doing phenomenal. The next thing I'm gonna tell you is, I'm gonna see a bunch of teams in here today that are all winners. So, yeah, I've just seen another winner here. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, winner does not necessarily equal award. So, you know, note that today, you guys are winners, you know, you guys have done a phenomenal project, you know, kudos on actually, you know, the work that you've done with the Red Cross to actually look at this and make this viable. You know, great job, you know, I'm seeing a lot of teams that have done a lot of good work in this area. So please, you know, appreciate the day for what it is. Know that in my book you're all winners, but it's kind of like American Idol and I'm Harsh Harry. You know, at the end of the day, you know, I'm gonna have to tell, you know, 10 really phenomenal teams that they're not the top team and one is. So, you know, that goes on to finalist judging. So, you know, please, you know, if you don't make finalist judging, please don't feel bad. Because that'll make you feel bad. You wouldn't wanna make it. Okay, great job, thank you so much. Do you have your sheet, your team information sheet?
It's in the binder.
Okay, can you pull that out and get that for me? Because you're supposed to have one for me. Okay, so if you do, I appreciate that.
Oh, and
We also
Oh,
have a
yes.
flood joke.
we have a joke for you.
Okay, so what detergent do flood victims use to clean their clothes?
Tide.
Yeah.